Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the 3 a.m. Knitter Podcast. My name is Anne, and I would like to extend a very warm welcome to you if this is your first time joining me. And if you have come back to watch me again, thank you very much. Special thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the 3 a.m. Knitter Podcast channel. I'm just blown away by the number of people who have hit that subscribe button. So thank you very much. So a little bit of housekeeping before we get rolling. You can find me on Instagram as 3 a.m. Knitter, and if you would like to email me about anything in the podcast, you can do so at 3amknitter@gmail.com. As in the previous couple of episodes, I will put the show notes down below with links to all the things that I talk about. But if there's something specific that I've missed that you want to know about, just throw me a DM on Instagram or send me a quick note on email, and I will find those links for you. So today here in sunny Nova Scotia, Canada, it is about negative 14 or 15 degrees Celsius, so a little bit chilly out there, but it's a beautiful sunny day, and it was nice to actually get out in the sun earlier today, even just for a short time. So I hope that wherever you are, you've had an opportunity to enjoy the outdoors. So let's get rolling. So let's start with what I'm wearing. So you may remember from episode 1 or 2, I can't remember which, I was working on the Eyelet Pop top. So this is what I'm wearing today. I got it all finished up. I'll just swing you around here so you can get a full look. So this is an A-line top. It's got this beautiful eyelet detail, nice wide boat neck. And I decided to do the A-line, so I've got some increases here, as you can see, in the side, and it's just a nice loose layering piece, which is great. So this pattern was designed by one of the owners of my local yarn store, Natural You. So this is the Eyelet Pop top by Andrea Rammel. You can find that on Ravelry. There we go. Now, you might remember that I was talking last time about how I wasn't super happy with the yarn. So the yarn that I used for this, bear with me, do I have some of it? I do have some of it left, unfortunately. There it is. So when I started knitting, and I was knitting up the yoke, even though I got gauge, it was feeling kind of a little bit rough for my liking. So this is the Patents Classic Wool DK Superwash. There it is there. And that was in the Claret or Bordeaux colorway. Is there a number there? Yeah, I'm 12532 is the colorway number. But you know, when I thought, you know what, I'm gonna work through it. I'm gonna finish it off, and I'm gonna see what happens. Then I thought to myself, oh God, you're gonna do all that work and then you're not gonna like it. So what I did is I knitted up a really quick swatch, and I soaked it in my wool wash, blocked it out, and it gave me a better idea of what the finished fabric was gonna be like. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not the softest top ever, but it softened up substantially. And as a layering piece, I'm likely going to only wear this over something. So, you know, a shirt, or in the summer or spring, you know, a dress or something like that. So I'm not too concerned. It's never gonna be that kind of a top that is against skin. So if you're looking for a really easy knit, and something that is really compatible with other items in your wardrobe, take a look at this pattern, the Eyelet Pop top. So I, as I said, did the A-line version, so there was increases in the side, but the pattern's also written for just a straight silhouette. So if you don't like the extra ease around the body and the hips, you can just do it nice and straight. which makes the knitting, you know, a little bit easier once you get the yoke and you've split for the sleeves, because it's literally just knit, 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 knit. So really good television knitting. So I encourage you to look that up. I will definitely knit this again. I know that my LYS is just getting ready to launch a new line of a bunch of new colorways, and they're really, really exciting. They look really exciting. So I might find something in those new colorways to knit this up. The other thing I was thinking about is, you know, a linen or something like that might be really, really nice. Maybe not great to knit, but really, really beautiful in a top for a finished object. So anyway, great finished object. I'm very pleased with this. I am happy I persevered and got it done. And I've been wearing it, you know, I wore it to knit night on Thursday, and I'm wearing it again today. So really enjoying this, this top. So that's what I'm wearing today. Let's move into current webs. All right, now, what did I, oh, here we go. So I don't know if you have seen the pattern. You probably have, because it's a really neat pattern called The Vanilla is the New Black Socks. Let me just grab my Rav page for it here. Just because, yes. So this is a pattern by Anne Fletcher. Let me just go to the pattern page. Fingering 2.5 millimeter needles. What I absolutely love about this sock is the heel. So you've probably already seen this, but the heel is, look at that. Can you see that detail there? Yeah, it's a really interesting heel. I'm quite intrigued by it, and that's why I decided to pick it up. Now, for some reason, I decided that, sorry, I just lost my Ravelry page for it. I just closed it by accident. Anyway, for some reason, I decided to do it in a really, really bright colorway. So let's see, it's not quite showing up, but this is a colorway by Songbird Fibres, and it is, let me see if I can just quickly find that again. Let me just go back. No. Anyway, sorry. I'll put the link to the colorway in the show notes. But I've knit one sock, and it actually was on Whip Mountain for a while, and I'm not wildly happy with it. So I'm just gonna pop it onto this blocker. I think that, you know, the pattern is great, but I picked the wrong yarn. The colorway is not conducive to the sock, right? So you can see the heel here. I'll take it off this blocker, maybe that's easier. Like you can see the texture of the heel here, but I think it loses, like, I think that this feature on the heel is meant to really, I mean, it's really it's the pièce de résistance, if you will, of this particular pattern, because the rest of it is just a vanilla sock. So before I cast on for sock number 2, I'm really wondering if I should just frog this. I know I've got the whole sock done, but I'm disappointed in what this looks like. And I think that I could put this yarn to far better use. I don't know, let me know what you think. I have it in just a nice, this beautiful, look at that beautiful project bag with the polka dot inside. Isn't that cute drawstring? Oh, just love it. So you can see how it nets up. it's really fun, but I'm disappointed, right? I think that this vanilla is the new sock pattern, new black sock pattern, would be far better served in a more solid color, or a more of a tonal maybe at the very most, as opposed to a variegated. Anyway, I'm gonna sit with this one for a bit. I'm not gonna cast on, as you can see, I'm not gonna cast on the second sock. Clearly I was doing this in Magic Loop. Yeah, I'm kind of up in the air on that one. Let me know what you think. Should I frog it? Should I finish it? Just make them, you know, I mean, ultimately they're just socks for me. And I'll know that the detail is there, but you know, I don't know. So that is technically a whip, but I haven't decided if it's going to be frogged yet. So we'll just leave it at that. And then I didn't bring it upstairs because I had this knitting bag downstairs to take to my knit night on Thursday. But I did finish another one of the squares for my 2023 minis blanket. I talked about this in the last episode, I think, about the, or maybe it was the first episode, about the Frankie Brown patterns, which are free. So that's the one where I'm just doing, you know, the band of white with whatever color of mini I pick out of that big bag of minis, and then white. And then when you sew them together, you sew one, so the white is at the top and the bottom, and then you sew the one beside it, so the white is at the sides. So it's, you know, basically it's and it's all in garter stitch. So it's a project that I just pick up whenever I feel like it. When I'm in between projects, when I just need a break, you know, that kind of thing. And it's a great, great, great project to take to knit night because you literally don't have to think about it. It's all garter. So you can yak and you can have well, we have a glass of wine, but you know, there it is. So that's all of my works in progress. I'm not going to talk about my Noctuide sweater because I haven't even touched it. I've been super busy working on Whip Mountain and finishing up, you know, things, because I do have that commission knit coming in relatively soon. So finished objects. All right. So let us begin. You will recall from last episode that I had a pair of fingerless gloves that I was waiting, or that was from Whip Mountain. You will be very happy to know that I finished them. So these are the My Cup of Tea mitts. I did find the pattern. All I had to do is put the thumbs on. So they're nice and high. I did finish both. This one, it's going to be a little more difficult to show you because I have my watch on today, but did finish them both. Yay me. So this pattern is the My Cup of Tea mitts. Let's see if we can find that. There they are, the My Cup of Tea mitts. The pattern is by Fluffy Fibres. I knit them on 2.5 millimeter needles. So when all is said and done, I started them in February 2020 and I finished them February 14th, 2023. Yes, I'm ashamed of myself, but I'm very happy that I got a finished project out of Whip Mountain. I do not know the yarn that this is. I can't find it anywhere. So ultimately what I did is I finished the thumbs. I pulled out the cast off edge because it was way too tight, and knitted a couple more rows of the ribbing and then bound off nice and loosely. So this is a free pattern on Ravelry, My Cup of Tea mitts. Takes about 186 to 219 yards, or 170 to 200 meters. Let's see, it's a pattern adaptation from Robin Lynn's My Cup of Tea Socks. which is a free design on Ravelry as well. Their work from the bottom up. And this stitch here, the pattern is called the Crocus Stitch. So there you go. I got those finished. Very proud of myself. So that is finished object number uno. One finished object out of Whip Mountain. Oh, yay. So there's that. Then I also had these little mini ones. Remember these? So the only thing that had to happen with these, I know, so ashamed of myself. All I had to do was weave in the ends, seriously. And then again with these ones, the bind off was too tight. So I took the bind off out. I could not find any more of this yarn. So I just found some scraps of a contrast and I added a proper bind off so it was nice and loose. So these ones have been sitting at my desk just, you know, to keep my hands a little bit warm when I'm working away at the computer at work, and they're perfect. So Whip Mountain project, finished project number 2. Look at me go. All right, and then there is the Suburban Prairie Socks. Oh yeah, there they are. And guess what? Sock number 2, right? Got them finished, got them blocked. Look at these. So there is the one side detail. Aren't they just beautiful? Look at that colorway. I'm so happy I finished these. They're just gorgeous. So a little bit of a reminder about these. So this is the Suburban Prairie Socks by Susie White. 2.25 millimeter needles. I did these in One Twisted Tree Prime yarn. Girls Night Out is the colorway. I started these March the 16th, 2016. And I finished them on Valentine's Day of this year. Apparently February 14th was a busy day for me this year. So a little bit about the pattern. It is a paid for pattern, $6 US. I think I talked about this last time. I don't think that you can get the yarn anymore. I'm not positive that One Twisted Tree is still dyeing. But this colorway is, although I am not a purple girl, I think this colorway is great and these socks are beautiful. So I'm very happy that I finished those. Thank you to everybody for the amazing encouragement to finish the damn socks. So that was great. Thank you for that. And then finally, I'm gonna call this a finished object. Again, thank you to everybody who told me just to finish the cardigan, because I did. So the only thing I have to do is sew the buttons on, but it is blocked and it is finished. So you can see I've got my stitch or little markers there to just to show where I'm gonna put the come on, Anne, come on, buttons. There we go. All right, so you know, the sleeve detail here. So really for this one, all I had left to do was to sew the sleeves on and then to pick up for the button band. So ultimately the button band was, I mean, I think sewing the sleeves on took me an hour. The button band, I had to pick up 300 and some odd stitches, and then it is 10 rows of garter, and then I bound off. That's it. I mean, seriously, what is wrong with me? The back here is just gorgeous. Now this is a shaped cardigan. I don't think this is going to fit me. Whoops, it's a little snug, like I'm not digging the arms. It's a little snug. So I am going to put the buttons on it and I'm going to gift it. I mean, oh, just look at that. Oh, you know, and the detail in the front. So I will be gifting this probably to my daughter who lives on Manitoulin Island. You know, she lives in a little bit of a drafty house, but this might do her well at work or something like that. So thank you to all of you again for encouraging me to finish that, because I'm just thrilled with the finished result. So that is, bear with me here, no, there it is. Silver Fur Cardigan by Carrie Blummer. I started this one, if you'll recall from the last episode, in March, the end of March 2020. So this pattern, done in DK, and it's a paid for pattern, $9 US. You can read all about it on Ravelry. Now, the reason that I chose this pattern originally is because I wanted to make a whole wardrobe, right? Because Carrie also has patterns that go with this for mitts, hats, cowls, socks, and a shawl, all with the same sort of designing, same cables and things like that. So if I gift this to my daughter, then, you know, that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, 3 or 4 more gifts that I can knit her that will match her sweater, right? So looking forward to knitting that. But I'm really happy to have this done. I'm going to count it as a finished object, even though the buttons aren't on it, because I am going to put the buttons on it this weekend, and I'll post about that on Instagram so you can see that. So super happy to have that project finished as well. So are you impressed? 3 projects out of Whip Mountain. I know, crazy, isn't it? So next, I want to talk to you about a project that I've taken from Whip Mountain. So here we go. Back in sweater, nope, Christmas present, yeah, back in 2016, oh, good Lord, I cast on a tin can knits, the Prairie Fire. Let's see, I was using Diamond Luxury Pure Wool Superwash in gray. Let's see, I started it October 26, 2016, cast on another tin can knits from the Road Trip pattern book. I love these patterns. Split for the sleeves on the 30th. Ready to start the body, another fantastically written pattern by Tin Can Knits. You can't go wrong with the Tin Can Knits pattern. November 18th. Oh, apparently I wrote 2106 instead of 2016. Body all done. Fit is almost perfect. Picking up for sleeves now. Guess where I left off? Picking up for sleeves now. So here is a picture of me wearing the Prairie Fire. Isn't that something else, that pattern? I love tin can knits. And here is the sweater. So, you know, it's a little bit wrinkly and what have you. I even have metal DPNs still stuck in it, right? So here's the thing. When I pulled this out of Whip Mountain, I thought, oh, finish that off, get it blocked. It's going to be awesome, right? And then I went looking in my stash for the yarn. Don't have it. I don't know where it went. But what I did find is some of this blue. So this, again, Diamond Luxury Pure Wool Superwash. This is 200 meters, 100 grams. In colorway, oh, never mind, colorway 915. So it's kind of a gray-y blue. That's showing almost the color, yeah. So here's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you think. Because I have not done the sleeves yet, and this top has, does it have short sleeves? Let me just take a quick look. Let me go back. Prairie Fire. It has either short or long sleeves. Okay, So here's what I was thinking. I was thinking of doing it short sleeve, kind of like this, right? Maybe a little bit longer, but pulling out, or doing the sleeves like that in the blue, pulling out this garter stitch neckline and redoing it in the blue, and pulling out the garter stitch hemline and doing it in the blue, just so I could finish it off. What do you think? Yay, nay? What do you think? Let me know. I haven't decided. Like, I'd like to finish it because look, again, it's probably going to take me an hour to finish this darn project, but I mean, the contrast might be okay. Is the blue the right? I mean, the reason that I grabbed this is because it's the same yarn, right? But what do you think? Is that going to work? I'm not sure if it'll work or not. Oh, apparently there's fuzz all over this one, but anyhow, that's what I'm thinking about for this one. I don't want to frog this one because, you know, it's almost there, right? So give me your opinion. I will take an honest look at that one. So that is Whip Mountain number 1. Then I have another Whip Mountain here. So I found, oh, I bet you, oh, I just figured out who this was. So I found this sock. Yeah, I found this sock in Whip Mountain. And I don't know if you can, let me see if I can throw this on a sock blocker. I suspect, again, I've lost the label, but I think that this is another Songbird Fibres from Stratford. Yeah, I think it is. So I think this is a Helen Stewart Curious Handmade pattern. Now that I'm looking at it, let me just take a wee quick look. Let me see if I can find this. Library. Come on. Helen Stewart. So here's the thing. It's the Wild Bee Socks. Helen Stewart's patterns are the bomb. They are amazing. So there is the socks there. See that beautiful, beautiful detail on the front. And then actually there's maybe a better picture for you there. And then it's got that beautiful partridge stitch kind of heel there. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, I thought that I would get fancy, and I thought that this, you know, I wanted to do the toes and the heels in a different color, and I looked at the yarn, and it has this blue in it, and so I bought this blue, plain blue, and I'm just not digging it. I'm just not digging it at all. What do you think? This is another one of those situations where, you know what, I should have frogged it before I finished it, right? And now I'm kind of sitting here with a finished sock thinking, should I just frog it and then re-knit it? Or does anybody know, can I pull this heel out? It's a heel flap and gusset. Can I pull that out and re-knit it? I know I can do the toe, because I'm thinking if I just would do it just in the variegated, right? Instead of the solid color. Let me know about that, because if I can't pull the heel and the toe out, I'm just gonna frog these because I just don't like them. And so the bottom line is I won't wear them. So yeah, anyway. chime in if you don't mind. Let me know what you think about getting rid of the heel and the toe. Can I do it? Is it worth doing it, or should I just frog it? I'm not wildly in love with these, so if I have to frog it, I'm okay. So let me know about that. So what's coming next? I am getting ready relatively soon, probably in the next week or so, to start my next commission knit for Jody of the Grocery Girls. I'm knitting the ranunculus. It'll be my first time knitting that, so I'm looking forward to it. Just waiting for the yarn to arrive for that, and then that will be my that will be what I am paying most attention to. And then here we go. Now, I have never knit a Stephen West pattern. In the past, I have not been a fan of I know that I wouldn't wear the designs. I appreciate his designing. I think it's ingenious. I think that he is brilliant when it comes to color and putting different textures together. He's just magic. Just not my style. And then a week or so ago, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago, he launched his Fragmentation Shawl. Now, I don't know if you've seen this. You have to have seen it. It's been all over. And for the very, very first time, I'll tell you the one that I saw first. I mean, there's the one that, like, look at that. But the one that I saw first that just made me go all gaga over this was, let me see if I can find it here in his, there it is. Look at that. Isn't that something else? So, for the very first time, I have purchased a Stephen West pattern, and I have gone into my stash and I have chosen yarns to do this. So, sorry, let me just pop up here and grab my project bag. Come on now. Okay. So I'm housing this in my BeeByDesign, my favorite project bag. I showed you this back in episode number 1. So this Fragmentation Shawl calls for seven colors? Yeah, 7 colors. And as usual in all of Stephen West's patterns, it's written beautifully, and there is links to YouTube to give you tutorials and things like that. So I went digging into my stash because I'm really trying to just knit from stash this year. And I found, let's see, I'm not gonna pull this all the way out because it's big and clunky. So I'm going with greens and rusts and oranges. So we have, wonder if I can, all right, let's do this 2 at a time. So we've got a couple of greens. That's pretty darn close. They won't be next to each other in the shawl, but this has got a bit of sparkle in it. I'll be holding this one double because it's a little bit of a lighter fingering. Then we have this, this one that has the greens and oranges. This was a sock yarn club that I purchased so many years ago. It was by Cannon Hand Dyes, and my favorite movie is Gone by the Wind, or Gone with the Wind, and this was their Gone with the Wind club. So this one here is called Arrogant Devil, Isn't He? The Gone with the Wind club from 2014. 490 yards. So it's got kind of rust colors in there, a little bit of orange, a little bit of mauve, green. So there's that. And then I have this kind of rust with, it gets a little bit darker, It's got a little sparkle in it and some orange. And then I have 6 and 7. So I've got like a brown, and then this color here has some orange and rust and taupe and a little bit of brown speckle in it. So I'm really, really looking forward to getting rolling on that. This pattern is just, it intrigues me. And you know, there's another version of it. Look at that one. So you can do so much with this. The construction is amazing. I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about the pattern because it is a paid for pattern, but believe me, so worth it. I've read through the pattern a couple of times, and this man is a genius. Oh, it's just, I'm excited to knit it. It's going to be a big piece, so it'll be a nice, you know, TV watching shawl or sitting and knitting shawl. So that's kind of coming up next for me. And then at knit night, so this past Thursday was my local knit night, which is hosted by my LYS, Natural Ewe Yarns, here in Pictou, Nova Scotia. And Andrea, who is half of the team that runs the LYS, showed me this pattern that I am absolutely gaga over. So this is a pattern called, I think it's pronounced SHIMA or SHIMA, the SHIMA Sweater, and it's by Beatrice Mays from BeeByDesign. It is a fingering weight sweater, and there it is there. Look at that. So look at the back detail. Hope that that's not too glary. So this, like I say, it's a fingering weight sweater, seamless top-down raglan. You choose 2 colors, and there is a thin central braid that connects the 2 colors. Bicolored sweater is knit in garter stitch in the round, but as you will use the German short road method, there's no intarsia. There will be no purling at all for the yoke and the body. I love this sweater. There's only 49 projects. It was published in September of 2021, but the projects here look interesting. Some of them are just gorgeous, so you know, check them out on Ravelry. But the beauty of this design is that there's also a pattern for socks, and it is taking everything in my being not to cast these on. Look at those. Aren't they gorgeous? Oh, look at that. And look at that. The color goes right onto the sole of the foot. Oh, now I haven't purchased these patterns yet, but yeah. So this pattern here shows €5, so about $7.50 Canadian. Oh, it also has a shawl. There's a shawl that comes with it too. Well, I mean, it's an extra pattern to purchase, but the shawl looks divine. Let me see if there is. So kind of, oh, let me make that a full screen. There we go. Oh, there we go. Look at that. What a beautiful outfit that would make, wouldn't it? You know, the sweater and the shawl and the socks to match. Oh, so that's kind of what's on my what's next. I really don't want to cast too many things on right now because I do have that commission knit coming in. But I think probably what's going to happen is I will cast on the Fragmentation Shawl, the Stephen West pattern. And I'm not going to buy these patterns yet. I want to finish my commission knit first, and then I'll see how I feel. So let me know what you think. Should I cast them on or shouldn't I? But anyway, there it is. So those are kind of my what's next, my dream knitting, if you will. Yeah, we'll get through them, I'm sure. So last episode, I shared with you some of my favorite podcasts, and I'm going to do the same today because, you know, I love watching podcasts while I'm working, you know, in the house, while I'm knitting. You know, if my guy is watching a movie that just doesn't interest me, I put my headphones in and I watch a podcast, you know, that kind of thing. So one of my favorite podcasts, and I don't know why I didn't mention it last week, but when I'm feeling super duper stressed, or just feel I need to be quiet and calm and relaxed, I turn on the Meaningful Stitch. Amy Palko's voice and her podcast just is amazing. It just instantly, like within seconds, makes me relax and just makes, it just makes me feel good about my knitting. So tune into her podcast if you haven't. And if you, I'm quite certain many, or if not all of you, have already watched her. But if you haven't, do yourself a favor and go watch an episode or two. She is magic. Follow her on Instagram too, because her Instagram feed just, I am just so inspired when I watch the work that she does. So check her out for sure, The Meaningful Stitch. And then we have By the Lakeside with Sandy. Oh, you don't even know how badly, I mean, I love her podcast, but sorry, I'm just going back to Instagram here because I just got to pull up her Instagram. Where is she? By the Lakeside. There she is here. I am coveting one of her oversized bags. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Look at this thing of beauty. Look at that. Oh, so that is her large everything tote bag. Do you know, oh, I am just gaga over it. That's the carry-all, but I think the large oversized one is gonna have to make its way into my possession at some point. So I keep watching for her shop updates, and I missed the last one, but ooh, just love it. And her podcast is amazing. So go check her out, By the Lakeside. And then Leanne from the Knitty Stew talked about a podcast that she had found, Fairy Godfather Knits. What a scream. Go and check out this podcast. I love it. He designed this sweater based on the cover of a book, and I don't even have words for it. It's brilliant, but his podcast is great. He talks openly and honestly about his life. He shares amazing projects. He talked about in one episode just a little while ago about knitter's rage or yarn rage, and I was like, yeah, I've had that too. So go check him out too. Another one of my favorites. So that's all for the knitting content today. It's time for us to pull one of our Knitter's Oracle cards. I'm just giving the deck a little bit of a shuffle here, and then we will split the deck and pull the top card and see what we have today. So today's card is the U. So let's take a little wee look and see what the U has to say. 29. All right. The counter of the Ram card, the U, stands for all things traditionally feminine. Excuse me, caring, maternal energies, softness, tenderness, aesthetic beauty. The U prefers to cooperate and nurture rather than lead or dominate. It may also refer to literal motherhood. The energies of the Ram and the U work together in all people, regardless of gender. This card may be a call to tap into your stereotypically feminine side and soften your approach to the current situation. The U. I like that. Yeah. Caring, maternal energy, softness, tenderness, aesthetic beauty. Isn't that kind of what we sometimes crave, sometimes need, sometimes want? I like the idea of tapping into the stereotypical feminine side and softening our approach. So sometimes I think when we knit, for example, this sock that I don't like, right? This sock that's been sitting in Whip Mountain. Soften my approach to the situation. So instead of being angry or disappointed or, any of those kind of negative feelings towards working on a project that just ends up being not what I want, maybe just softening my approach to it and saying, okay, you did beautiful work, but let's make it something that you can actually enjoy. What do you think? What do you think about that, the U card? Think about that for a while and let me know your thoughts down in the comments or over on Instagram, wherever you prefer. So friends, that's it for this episode number 3. Thank you again so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing, for liking the podcast, for commenting. It does make this so much easier when I see that people are here and listening and enjoying. I'm so happy to be here with you. So until next time, keep knitting, stay well, and we'll talk soon.